Hey everybody, it is your suburban garden permaculture style guy, and I recorded you guys a great video, and I turned the camera like this and then it didn't record the right way, so now I'm gonna have to reshoot it like this. Apparently this thing doesn't change perspectives if I do, so we're gonna start out sideways and we're gonna end on sideways. Welcome back to the garden, the orchard. The sunflower thing is getting out of control. I don't know how tall that is, but isn't it 8 foot up under there and then above that? I mean, so it's pretty high, maybe 9 feet, 10 something. Got to start getting ready to cut those back. That's a big one. Start using them for the bio mulch everywhere. Everything's looking good. The blueberries are pretty much done for the year. There's still a straggler berry here and there. They're still good. But I just took the bird netting off of this. Since I'm done taking fruit off of them, for the most part, it's time to fertilize and amend their soil for the growing season, I'm going to call it. Now that they're done with their fruit load, it's time for them to store energy and put on energy for next year's load. All of this was all new last year, right? So all this is this year's growth. These things, some of these things fruited. These look like old spent grapes. And all this new stuff should pretty much fruit next year. So we're going to do some cleanup. You can see some granules in there. That is a soil acidifier. Even though I bought acidic azalea soil, I mean, I've had it for some years. I'm sure it loses acidity. So I sprinkle it in. No, I don't test anything. I eyeball it and I wing it. And it works out pretty well so far. Things are looking good in a citrus grotto. Hey, that's a good name, a citrus grotto. So everything's looking good. I had my first experience this year with a bird poop, which is a kind of caterpillar that looks like a piece of bird poop. And that's what ate the tops of this off, and I don't know what happened to it. It's not here anymore. I don't know if a bee got it or if it moved on. But everything is growing really lush, as you can see from where I topped this the other day. It's because this was about like that, and so was that, similar like these are. And as you can see, they grow nuts. So this thing looks really good. All of that's new growth from this year. All this moving section here and then behind it, it's looking real good. The cuties, the satsumas, we're getting closer to, I guess, them getting done. I still haven't looked up when they're going to be done. If it's anything like the Meyer lemons, it's not until the winter, basically, so like November, December. But we'll see. I don't know, but I know these guys don't turn yellow until the end of the year. Usually I had last year, I put the greenhouse cover up. Not usually, I've never done it but once. That stuff is disgusting. That is a glass winged sharpshooter pea or poop or whatever it is. They flick that stuff out of their butt and they sit there and suck all these juices out of your plant. That's all liquids out of your plant squirted back onto your plant. It's pretty gross. Yeah, looking good. There you can see some other stuff on that other satsuma. That one's still kind of pitiful, just been by itself. And the navel orange has thrown out a big flush of growth. It's kind of cool. These baby chickens are becoming chickens, and they're becoming annoying. They try to get in stuff all the time now and tear stuff up. Get away from my blueberry. I knew it was going to happen, but somebody keeps breaking in over here because the dog had messed up the fence. And I have it all pulled back up real tight. You can see the shattered this board here that was screwed in at one point. And there was a big dust bathing hole here and a big dust bathing hole here. Again, that's why I try to redo it with these giant pieces of wood in there to keep the birds out when they disrespect my little fences, because they don't seem to care about those too much. This was my fake snake to keep some of the birds away, even though I had bird netting, and this actually seems to have helped because it looked like a snake up in there, I guess, and it seemed to have helped. I found that the blueberries are expanding underground rapidly. There's a bunch of starts of new blueberry arms and stuff coming out because it says I was reburying stuff. I was digging in there and I kept finding lots of shoots, so that's promising. These sunflowers are everywhere. That's one big plant kind of just in the way of that mulberry I'm trying to support right there. So I'm going to have to come around. I'll turn slightly sideways. Look at these monster sunflowers just everywhere. And we really don't have a good use for them. I mean, I know the birds eat them and all of that. And they do kind of work as a trap plant to keep other bugs off. And that seems to work so far. Oh, everything is looking huge. The garden, this tomato plant looks really bad. I know it does. It looks visually bad to me. It's been doing it most of the year, but it's just now starting to get a little burn tips. But I mean, he's had these leaves almost since, most of its life. This is mostly new, but it still grows and it's putting on its tomatoes. It seems to be doing okay. I got a hiccup coming on. Whew. We just did this temporarily. We're all over the place, We have planted this 90 holes, guys. That's 45 and 45 of 2 rows. Right along one line of a soaker line. There's a soaker line in the middle. You might be able to see the little lump. But I have a little white dot. We measured it out, and we have them kind of offset of each other. I think you can see that. They're in the middle of each other by measurement and dot. And I came back and melted the holes. So there was 90 of them. We planted that twice. 180 beans we have sit there and hand done, put them in there. This bush lake, a tender, whatever, I'll have to look at all those later, or I can show you now, I guess. The Kentucky Wonder did nothing twice. Top crop, something or another, didn't do nothing twice. The Golden Wax, I believe these are Golden Wax, so I think those did good. And the Tender Green worked. So the Tender Greens and the Golden Wax, the only ones that really ever came up. And these are supposed to be the vining beans for the trellis, right? So we only got like 2 of those. There were more, but sometimes they'll grow up and then something just cuts the whole head off of it. Like here's one that just came up and it's already dead, see? So just because some of them sprouted doesn't mean there's actually a plant here, and this one's lost a lot of its head. I'm having to come out a couple of times a day, and get little micro-sized caterpillars off of them that are eating all these holes in them. If I don't, they'll decimate the plants in like a day. So especially when they're this small, there's not enough leaf on them for them to sustain that kind of damage level. It's a new sets of tomatoes. There is more tomato plants in that little row than there is in that whole thing back there. Because all those bags you see are tomatoes, obviously. Well, and I guess it's not obvious, but lots of tomatoes, right? That's only 14 plants. It's 7 and 7, 2 12.5-foot rows. That is one 16-foot row with, what was it, 18 plants? Yeah. Oh, okay, 15. I thought it was 16. All right. 15 or 16. So 3 different kinds of jelly bean cherry tomatoes, sweetie cherry tomatoes, super sweet 100 cherry tomatoes. So 3 cherry tomatoes. And then Jubilee, these last 6. I wanted 6 of the larger tomato types. I wasn't wanting to dedicate that much of my life to the cherry tomatoes, which will be interesting because we have a variety. And the only reason we have these varieties, guys, is because this is what was available at Home Depot when we bought seeds. Everything we bought, all this is Home Depot seeds, right? Some seeds some people gave to us, but not many of them. Some of the tomatoes are, but I don't know that they didn't get them from Home Depot. So basically Home Depot seeds. This plant never did good. It fell over. It's still alive. I was going to let it try to grow back up like that. It's a poblano. This guy's finally taken off after I hit it with some fertilizer a couple of times. I don't know. Sometimes you got to get stuff going and then it'll take off and you won't have to do that pretty much after that. But it struggled for a long time. And the curl, again, massive old leaves. They're curly, but they're still photosynthesizing or the plant wouldn't be doing this good. And they've been like this almost the whole time. Big, giant, fleshy leaves on this variety. So massive tomatoes. As you can see, some are turning red, starting to get blush. The Cherokee purples I'm super excited about. I freaking love those, and I've only had them like twice, I think, maybe 3 times. I don't even know if that's for sure, ever, because you have to grow them to taste them. I don't think they sell them too many places. San Marzano seeds, makes like a paste tomato, and the chickens have been in here and decimating these things. These things have all been raided by the chickens. There was massive tomatoes all up under this thing, up under here. And there was huge, massive clusters, and they come in here and they were just decimating them. And yeah, I got really mad, but oh well. I was like, that's what chickens do. They destroy your stuff. At least that's been our experience. The poblanos are looking kind of cool. We have some cool looking poblanos. I don't know that it's any particular type. It's just poblano as far as I know. Yeah, and these will get a lot bigger, I have to assume. So I think it was supposed to be 4 plants of poblano, and so we kind of got burned on that one, but I think that'll be okay. I'm pretty sure I planted more of the jalapeno and bell pepper because I want more jalapeno and bell peppers. So this is a bell. As you can see, there's a little bell. And this guy in the back has some babies on it. It's got a lot of vigorous growth, but not a lot of fruit, but it does have fruit sets everywhere. And then this guy has some fruit sets, but, you know, again, hasn't really done a whole lot, but that's okay because the most shaded one, the one in this darkness, is the biggest one of all. And it's got a really nice size one. So this is officially bell peppers are on the menu. Like as I told the wife, I started a neat little project. I have a board in the house, a dry erase board of my own, and I write down what's available for her at that moment. That way she can, at a glance, knows like I want to cook something, you know, because I create stuff and I want it to be used, right? But you know, scheduling, I'm not a mom, so scheduling and getting it all done is not something I'm used to having to do as much as she does. So if I make it easier for her, she'll, you know, add it into our diet, basically, and you'll be able to consume it. Nothing goes to waste, even if it doesn't, because we have chickens that'll eat almost anything, even if it's bad. And beyond them, I have the black soldier fly bin. So nothing, we don't even throwing away kitchen waste anymore. So we get a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store. And after you pick all the meat off and shred it and everything, so when you're done, I just throw the whole carcass into the black soldier fly bin, the bones and all, and they eat it right up. It's gone in a matter of hours. somebody walking by our thing back here. Dog's freaking out. I'm kind of close to a sidewalk. It's no big deal, but I'm just... wish my fence was better sometimes. Yeah, it's just people walking. Oh well. Hank, calm down. This thing's got to go. Look at this monster. Oh my goodness. That is just so much sunflower. I hope you noticed that I am trying consciously very hard to be better with this camera, because I know the videos have not been watchable really. So anywho, backing around, big bell peppers, as you can see. We're having a good year for those. Lots of the jalapenos. More bells on those little plants. That's the biggest bells. Jalapenos, those things are loaded. Loaded. And over here. So yeah, everything's on the menu. So we have enough jalapenos to do a recipe. We're looking into the cowboy candy idea. I want to see how that goes, so that we can start preserving some of this wonderful stuff. And then the poblanos, I don't know what we're gonna do with those. I guess they just turn red and you make stuff with them. I grow it, you cook it, baby. That's how it'll work out very well. So some of these are pretty big, guys. I have been very diligent about the suckers, even though you do see one here and there. And it does make the tomatoes bigger. I don't know if it makes more of them. I doubt it does, but it seems to be working pretty good. So that's how that's all looking. Everything is pretty thick, as you can well see. I know it seems like I'm getting a lot of glare here. Ooh. All right, looks a little better. It's very lush around here. I'll give you that. Is this even looking focused? There we go. You can't even barely see into that box. See, they create their own microclimate during the summer and the spring. There's a lot I need to come off. All that's coming off after this year. I'm bringing these way back down. I'll let it do that to grow up that energy. It creates storable energy in its root core for the next year for flowering and fruit and all that. So it's fine that it overgrows. All that wood, all that gets cut off and thrown back in here to refeed the garden. It's a circle system. Remember my name of my channel, Permaculture Style. It's maybe not perfectly permaculture, but it's permaculture style. So that's what we're going for. It looks pretty cool, man. I really like how the yard looks when it's lush like this. In the winter, my videos look completely different. But here we are in the moment of glory of the bounty of the spring and the summer. So it looks really good, and that doesn't look really good, but we're working on it. The chickens have broken into this thing so many times, I've had to figure out ways to keep it closed better without putting a lot of effort into it. Flip up at the bottom. That's what they're doing, pushing right through there. And let's see what else we got going. We've already done citrus. Keyhole garden is still okay. It's not looking great, obviously, but we have weeded everything out pretty well. And we've reclaimed the box. I harvested the potatoes. That was one of the videos I just put up. That worked out really well. I'm actually really surprised. It turned out to be like 69 or 70 potatoes. Like everything, micros down to everything, right? 70 little, all the way to every big one potatoes. Of which we figured out that it was like 28 bag size, like what you would got when we bought those in a bag. So if we started with 9 bag size and we got 28 bag size, and then there was some just under bag size I didn't count. And then there's a lot of the other stuff. So there was really a lot. And that worked out really cool. So we're happy with that. Spaghetti squash has been on there since this vine grew here earlier this spring, and this thing is everywhere now, and I guess it's starting to ripen now. It's turning yellow, but it does have another little brother down there that's off the same vine. That's just further down. So there's a new fresh green one, there's that old one, and then this next older one. So I guess they're about ready to come off and store. We do have a bunch in the house that I've already cut off. This guy is still here, and it's about ready. I guess it's yellow. They're not big, but they're yellow, so I guess that's what it is. When I pulled out this plant, this was another one of the spaghetti squash, and it was dying. It had vine borers in it and everything. So I pulled it out, and I've got 2 more plants started in there. I know I'm not supposed to do this right on top of each other because, you know, it's the same species and the squash bug problem. But this is a butternut squash, and there's 2 of them in there. There's a little seedling, and then there's this guy. And I used this watermelon to kind of shade it to protect them because they were so young and the heat so much, and even with the shade cloth. So I'm gonna try that. Also, my giant zucchini, you can see that big circle it used to take up. Pulled it out, and I put in a new crookneck squash, a yellow crookneck. Again, shouldn't do that. Look, there's still debris from the last plant. They probably have bug eggs. Yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, I'm gonna do it anyway. I don't know why they have the rules they do. I know there's great reasons. I do know, but I'm just being facetious. And I'm just gonna do it anyway. That's basically what it comes down to. There's the stalk of that big monstrous spaghetti squash vine right there. Big old ugly looking thing. Growing out of that little old hole I put in the ground, guys, right through that material that these homesteaders have shown us. And I think you can see some of the watermelons and stuff in the distance. Look, my forest floor thing, keep adding stuff to it, but it even grows up into this lush, amazing grass looking stuff. But I'll pile more stuff on it over the year. Another watermelon. And the one cantaloupe we've gotten so far came from right here, where you can see another cantaloupe, right? And then there's another watermelon came up right beside it. We lost one of the cantaloupes, and I thought that it was a rabbit or something, but it turned out it's the chickens. That's what I determined. So it was out here, and I just let it sit out there because they weren't bothering it. It used to be attached right there. So I put this piece of chicken wire over this one because it had two of them out here. This is my next biggest one. It's about ready to harvest. Well, it's not. It's gonna turn yellow, but that's hidden right here in my yard. I'm gonna get some more. I'm gonna set you down for a second. Get some little grass up under it. So it works a little better. So protect it from the chickens. The other one was right there and got slaughtered. This one was more hidden, I guess. So cover it like that, and they haven't been able to get to it. It's been there for a week or so. There's still plenty of other. There's two raspberries are still alive in here. There's plenty of other melons over here. There's two more melons right there that sprouted up here recently in the last week or two, really. And then these two, which are getting really close. The one on the right's getting really close to being ready. And his little buddy next to him, and they're not that little, so that's cool. So there's four, and there's two right here. There's one in the front you can see relatively straightforward, but there's another one hiding. It's right behind this leaf right here. Let me see. It's behind that leaf. And it's hiding, and I didn't even know it was there. The wife found it. There it is, I see him. Huh. Oh, he's a cute little guy. But he's hiding in there too. Oh, and another watermelon that just popped up like a week ago. Let's see. Do you need the water turned off? I think she's watering something in the front yard. Babe. I'll check with her again. Retrellising this stuff, as you can see. Even after you cut the tops, it re-sprouts out more. So we're gonna get a good berry crop next year. This thing was really neglected, and I'm trying my best to keep it moving forward. Thanks, Rona. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. I need to get irrigation going on these. These things are looking poorly because I haven't been staying on the water end at all because I don't have the irrigation. And why do I always neglect these poor vines? Other than that, they look good-ish. They're really suffering though. I know they are. It's not wet. It's gonna need to be watered. Yeah, I'm hitting roots everywhere, but it's dry. Very, very dry. And I need to get on that. When she gets done with that water, I'm going to stand here and hose water these for like 20 minutes and try to soak this whole area around them all. Doggy, can I get you a drink, buddy? He bathes in there when it's hot every day. He'll go in there, lay in it and get out, lay in it and get out. I have to change it kind of frequently. And the chickens and him all enjoy their little pool. And you know, we've went through like 2 or 3 of these. They break over time, but we ain't paid for none of them. The kids, they'll be out in the trash every summer. Like at the end of the summer, they'll just be sitting out there and you'll look and there's no holes in it. They just didn't want it. Okay, take it back. We use it for mixing dirt and for the dog and chickens and stuff. The other stuff I was going to look at was over here. I'm going to wrap up over that way. Might come talk about the black soldier fly bin. Some people don't like it, I'm sure. But these big guys, whew, I can't even just look up and around all of this. Monstrous. Not a single fruit did I get. There ain't no fruit down here rotted. So we're gonna see. We're working on that plum curculio deal. I'm gonna get us some fruit, you guys. You watch. I will say this: these fruit bags are working. So I was hesitant to tell some Facebook groups and stuff I'm in, like, does it work? I don't know. I mean, I just put them on. Just because I put them on doesn't mean I know they work. I believe I can say that they do work now because I found one of my tomatoes. Before I bagged up all the tomatoes, I only did some, kind of like I was just half-hearted effort of doing it. And when I did it, I found one with all these holes. I have a picture on my phone real close up of all these holes in the side of this tomato. And I'm like, see, that's the one I didn't have bagged up. Right next to it, didn't have the holes. So I'm like, okay, that's it. Let me go get my bags. And I bagged up every dang tomato. I can't do too much digging in here to show y'all because the chickens will see me and they'll know there's something here. And then they'll come and kill it. But there's a baby melon right there. But I got to be careful. Them vultures. They can come and kill all my baby fruit. Another spaghetti squash. This giant vine. There's one vine that is wrapped around this way and around this way. Their arms have crossed and now they're coming back around the other way. It's got a leg coming out here, and that leg is starting to turn and go back that way because I broke the tip off. But it's got more legs going here, but it's throwing out more. There's 3 massive spaghetti squash. This one, and there's another one somewhere else. There's not too many other melons. There's that one right there. There's another melon hanging right there. I'll show you better. But this honeydew and this honeydew, I haven't seen any melons yet. And this cantaloupe back here, that cantaloupe back here, haven't seen anything yet. I did plug another summer squash in over here, crookneck. So I have 2, one in the big garden, one over there. Sorry if I talk fast. And I might end up finding more in here, but not so far. That thing is already from a set flower like 2 days ago to this in like 2 days, maybe 3 days. That's pretty big difference, right? Wait till you see the granddaddies that's attached to. Here's this guy right here hiding. Little cantaloupe. That's working out well. Look at beautiful cantaloupe leaves, and this is all the summer squash, or the spaghetti squash, and this is the cantaloupe. And they're all swooshed around. See, this is another one that just set, because the tip's like right over here, and this thing will be huge in a matter of no time. But still not the big ones. Everything, here's the main tip coming around that way, and that tip's going whatever. We get off into her, and these are the big dads. This is the youngest of the big dads. And let's see what this one looks like. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's hard as a rock. Oh, it's so big. This one's even bigger. It's older. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Oh, golly. Oh my dude. Oh yeah, that's big. That dirt big. Alright, let me hide it back in there. And then the original one. Oh my goodness, this big monster. It's like a 2-liter bottle sitting down here. Or a football. It's big. Alright, so those are the guys that are doing. Asian pears and bags looking good. We had the rains, right? Lots of rains. Too much rain. Had splittage. You know what the neat thing is? It's not getting disgusting though, because the bugs can't get to it. So I'm leaving these split ones on here. Like this one's all mappy split, because I don't have any reason not to. Now there's one that had blossom end rot, and where'd it go? It rotted in the bag, right, from blossom end rot. So it turned yellow and it ripened off. So I'll take that whole thing off, because that's not, you know, that just happens to fruit and veggies. Ooh, that's a bad split I didn't know was there. Yikes. Asian pear, known to split, apparently. Yeah, I think it was in the description. It said something about it can have issues with cracking if the fruit's at a certain stage and you get a lot of rain. I wouldn't mind, you guys, but you know what I don't see? Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what I don't see? I don't see any holes in these things, hardly. All right, no, I mean, I'm not... Where's the bug bites? I'm in the middle of Texas summer, and there's these stupid sharpshooters and stuff everywhere right now, and I don't have no bug bites in there. I got maybe have cracks, I can have whatever else I got, but I ain't got no bug bites. Ooh, the back of that one. It's all split around. But there ain't no bug bites. I bet I get to eat them with the cracks on them too. Bet I do. Oh, Hank, tell them about it. Tell them about it yourself, Hank. So left these out intentionally. They're not getting ate up either, really. I gotta say that's kind of amazing, because usually by now the stink bugs and the leaf-footed bugs would be clouded over these in my tomatoes. Might be partially the weather, because it's kind of cool this year. I need to move this. One of our chickens jumped up here a while ago and was trying to peck at these apples. I need to brace this up, because they're silly and they're stupid. They won't listen to me. No more. They're teenage chickens. They don't listen. There's a baby melon, honeydew melon, baby honeydew melon. I don't know if they're setting or they're going to set. I don't like them coming out here in the aisle. I wish they would go back the way I want them to go. I have yet to figure out how to make Mother Nature do what I tell her to do. And she ain't listened to me yet. My mom would be proud of her. Alright, so here we go over here. Everything looks good. Still, I had one little watermelon on there, a little sugar baby, but it dehydrated, it shriveled up, and it aborted, so didn't get one of those. 5 plants, no watermelons yet. Well, it was hoping, but we'll see. The plants are growing vigorously, and they're throwing out massive amounts of flowers. That rain did amazing for everything, so... Oh, figs are coming in. So now that we're in June, late June, 27th, I think, guys. Don't quote me on that. It's Sunday. Now that the blueberries are done, the figs are coming in. Dun, 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 dun. Big, fat, juicy figs. Look at that. Oh, yeah. I'm going to make it focus just so you can drool with me. I don't mean to make you jealous, but... Oh, look, now all those babies are going to do that, too. You see all of them, right? That's just per head. But everywhere you turn, there's entire heads where you can see they're starting to swell. And all those are going to ripen. And entire massive clusters are going to ripen out for the next few months. You see that there's got to be well over 1,500, maybe 2,000 figs on these 2 trees. It is an ungodly amount of figs. Come down here and be like, oh, what in the, oh, oop, my phone was tripping. So it's not ready. I know it's getting there. Like them softer. And so, yeah, it's almost time for the figs. There's another one coming in. Right there, you can see he's swollen and getting prepared. So, yep. I gotta say, figs are real easy to grow. They make you real happy. The only thing that'll get them is the birds, really, and the rodents, like squirrels. But after that, I mean, diseases and bugs don't seem to be a problem. They do abort. Sometimes they kind of get dry. They don't really do anything. Oh, look at there. Never had one split open. Yeah, there ain't much going on in those. It's all dry. Figs. So, yeah, that's the garden update. And one more good look around. We're gonna come. We still haven't planted out everything for the year off of the machine, but we have a selection of things that we may or may not want to plant at any time we want. As you can see, still whole entire racks of cherry tomatoes and Anaheim peppers we haven't planted yet, some sunbells we haven't planted yet. We're going to in the big garden. This thing hasn't taken off that well yet, that blue bucket, because it had spider mites on them, and my spinosad got busted in the mail. It was supposed to have been here 2 days ago, and I got an email telling me that the shippers returned it. So I'm like, okay, the liquid busted. That's pretty obvious. So, well, darn it. That free shipping, because I don't have Prime, because I ain't paying for that, took some time, then it busted, and now I have to wait longer. Oh well, still not paying for Prime. That would have happened either way. Alright, I guess that's about it. Oh, we'll end on the black soldier fly bin. That way, it's not on somebody's mind. If you don't want to see the black soldier flies, you might want to click off. And actually, they need more food. They've eaten up everything we've ever put in there. And again, there's been 3 chickens, 3 dead mice in here. There's been all kinds of stuff. But there's even eggshells. I'm throwing everything in there. They're kind of down there in the bottom, more or less. You can see it moving, kind of. There's not that many up there because there's no food. Notice there's hardly any food up here at all. There's nothing. There's no carcasses. There's an entire pumpkin. A giant pumpkin is gone. There's just nothing left of it. They're all sunk down in there. You can see as you go down deeper, everything's wiggling. So, I like to keep it covered. It keeps the gnats off. But these guys are hungry. I need to come up with some leftovers or something that we are done with. And here's some of my harvest of BSF for the day. As you can see, not a lot. But my chameleon and my 2 bearded dragons, I do not have to buy food for them anymore. Also because there's crickets and stuff, or grasshoppers out here too. I'm catching occasionally. But yeah, I have food for my animals and my chickens as it comes. I need to do some improvements on the design, but other than that, it's working. There's usually not anything on this side because it's the sunnier side. I don't think they like to come out over here. Yeah, I still got 4 more. I just cleaned that out. There was only 2 in there earlier. There's 4 on this side. They usually don't come on this side. But yeah, as you can see, the holes right here. Oh, let me try to get the camera. And it forces them into a little cone, and they fall. They can't get past there because they fall right in the little bucket. Neat. Permaculture style. It's not perfect. Give it a shot. That's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go, and we will talk to you guys soon.